Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC 320, Ankalaev versus Pereira 2. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into our predictions. So, scroll on down, first fight we have in the welterweight division, we got Soriano versus Veretinnikov. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm going low confidence Soriano to beat Veretinnikov. Yeah, Soriano should definitely be the better overall fighter for sure. Definitely should have a huge grappling advantage here. Whether he'll use it to the degree he needs to use it or should use it, I don't know. Veretinnikov probably the more technical striker, and that's the area where he could look to exploit Soriano. But I definitely think Soriano could hold his own on the feet and then beat him on the feet. But again, the path of least resistance would definitely be the grappling. We see Veretinnikov get out grappled by a really like a lightweight striker in his last fight, and really got gifted a decision in that fight. And then his fight prior to that, he got I forget the guy's name, but Mr. Van Zandt, he's also on his card, I think. Oh yeah, Austin Vanderford was able to take him down and submit him pretty easily. And Veretinnikov has shown a very weak grappling game, especially defensively throughout his career. So Soriano was able to exploit that area, or train for that well. He should be able to have great success. I have not seen Veretinnikov show any bit of great takedown defense. It's pretty mediocre in grappling in all departments, and I think Soriano should be able to exploit that. But I'll say second round TKO for Soriano. Whether it be him setting up the strikes off his takedown, or whether he gets it done on the ground by taking him down and ground and pound him, I think it's a second round TKO for Soriano. But either way, I do think Soriano will exploit the grappling, whether it be he gets it done with the hands on the feet, or whether he gets it done with the hands on the ground. I think he gets it done via TKO, and I think it's in the second round. So, in this one, I got Soriano via second round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the featherweight division, we got Y.Santos versus Y. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Y.Santos to beat Y. I think that Y is a very talented fighter. He's a favorite, so I don't know why I'm saying this. Like I don't know. Like I owe him some type of respect to say, oh, he's this, that. Like he's a good fighter. I don't really need to say nothing else more. Like he's a solid fighter, but I'm going Y.Santos. I favor his experience. They're both similar ages. I think Santos just a little bit older. Nah, Yu's a little bit older, only like a year older. So ain't no real age difference. Santos has the UFC experience. Santos has fought better competition, dealt with like more well-rounded fighter. He's dealt with guys in the same spot Yu is in, and I think he'll be able to deal with it. I think he has the more extensive grappling game. Again, he has more experience. He has the more extensive grappling game. I worry that he might be a little bit too aggressive on the feet, and that could lead to him getting slept. But he's definitely not nowhere near the low level of competition that Yu has been fighting. Not to say his competition has been decent. Outside of UFC, been decent. Even his guy he beat, his first fight in UFC is okay, but again, there's levels to everything, and I would say Santos has fought much better competition at a higher level than Yu has ever faced. But again, like, Yu definitely is live on the feet, but I feel like Santos is the better fighter overall. Like, I would give Yu the striking advantage, but Santos has experience being in these battles and going rounds against elite competition. He has experience having to mix it up with the grappling, and that's still a lot of question marks. I think Yu probably can be exploited in the grappling department. I feel like that might be where Santos takes it, but I'll say decision. Santos mix up on the feet, using that experience, maybe weathering a storm, and then just rallying if necessary, whether it's a rally or just a matter of just maybe dropping around, or maybe just having some rough period. But over this fight goes on, I think it's always going to typically favor the guy, the veteran who has multiple fights in the UFC, and also has had multiple wars in the UFC, to be able to make those adjustments and get his hand raised against Yu. So in this one, I got Y.Santos via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, we got Patchy Mix versus Jacob Wiklacz, however you say his name. And how do I feel about this one right here? I really want to go average confidence, but I'll go low based on how bad Mix looked in his first fight in UFC. He just looked so out of it, to be honest, and had zero striking defense. But yeah, I'll go low confidence. With this performance, he could maybe shift me to an average in the future, but baby steps. So I'll go low confidence Patchy Mix here to beat Jacob Wiklacz. It's going to be straight up with it. Jacob Wiklacz is a solid fighter, but the level of competition he has been fighting is nowhere near the level of Mix. And Wiklacz is also a grappler, and Mix is just a much better wrestler, grappler, and his grappling generally than Wiklacz. He should be able to dictate where this fight takes place. And just show huge levels and a huge gap between them as far as their backgrounds and their pedigrees and their skill sets and their ability and their talent level. I think Mix is going to mix them up. And I'll say first round submission for Patchy Mix here. So In this one, I got Patchy Mix via first round submission. Now to the next fight we have in the welterweight division, we got Brahimaj versus Austin Vanderford. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm going low confidence. Brahimaj to beat Austin Vanderford. And yeah, I'm liking the renewed confidence in Brahimaj. His striking's been looking much better with every single fight he's gone in there. And his issue has never really been his wrestling, grappling so much. I have seen it, I think, exploited in like one fight, but I think he'll be able to address the grappling of Vanderford enough. And I think he'll be the finals opening on Vanderford on the feet, and Vanderford has shown a very questionable chin. Brahimaj, like, really, when you look at his fights, he only been stopped, as far as to my recollection, in the UFC once, and that was because I think his ear exploded. So he's very tough. I don't see too many people put him out of there, unless he jumps to the top 10 or he fights a really elite striker or like a really elite grappler. And Vanderford's a solid fighter, but I don't think he's going to be able to put him away on the ground and definitely not on the feet. Whereas I feel like if Brahimaj is able to land that one clean punch or land a good combination, I can see Vanderford, getting stopped here. But basically, I feel like Brahimaj, he's riding the best momentum of his career. He had a big, he had this really rough patch of his career, and I don't think he's going to be so quick to get back on that rough patch just so soon. And I think he'll come in real prepared for Vanderford to address the grappling and then show his continued improvement in his striking and put Vanderford away. And I'm going to say second round TKO. So in this one, I got Brahimaj via second round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the women's flyweight division, we got Veronica Hardy versus Brogan Walker. And how do I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence, Veronica Hardy to beat Brogan Walker. And yeah, Walker is up there in age. I think Hardy's still not even 30. She's been around a long time, but she's only 29, so she hasn't even touched her 30s yet. Brogan Walker's like 36. She hasn't fought in like 2 years. Well, I think she fought 2025. By the way, she got washed on the Ultimate Fighter finale, and then she got dominated in her fight in 2025 or 2024. And yeah, I think Veronica Hardy is the better overall fighter, younger, more upside. And I think Veronica Hardy's going to be the outpacer, outworker, outvolume her, break her down, and then get a late second round submission over Brogan Walker. So in this one, I got Veronica Hardy via second round submission. Now to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, we got Basharat versus Chris Gutierrez. And how do I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence, Basharat to beat Chris Gutierrez. I just think that Chris Gutierrez has been, exploited a bit in the grappling department. Not so much like he get taken down and submitted, but like he has been taken down and given him minutes of control time, and that has been an issue for him. And a lot of his losses, are a good number of his losses, a good chunk of his losses. So I think for Basharat, he's a solid striker. I think he can hold his own with Gutierrez on the feet, but I also think, once he gets that respect, again, he can hold his own with him on the feet. I don't think he beats him in a pure striking battle, but it's even enough on the feet. And then you add in the grappling department and how aggressive in the pacing of Basharat and the cardio of him to be able to do that for round after round. It's going to be a tough fight for Gutierrez. I think Basharat's going to be able to exploit the grappling mostly in this fight to be able to grind out a decision over Chris Gutierrez here. So in this one, I got Basharat via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the middleweight division, we got Atiba Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz. And how do I feel about this one right here is I'm going high confidence, Atiba Gautier to beat Ozzy Diaz. And yeah, Diaz doesn't really have the best chin or the best striking defense. Atiba Gautier is faster, stronger, hits harder, more technical on the feet. And it's not like Diaz has no grappling. And even if he did have grappling, I don't think wouldn't even be to that real level. And Gautier would still just probably be able to muscle him out anything he tried to do in the grappling department. So I just think first round knockout for Atiba Gautier. He'll be able to stalk Diaz, touch his chin, and the first real clean heavy connect, or the first little flush clean form shot on the chin. I think Diaz gonna go flat and Gautier with the first round TKO. So in this one, I got Atiba Gautier via first round TKO. Now to the next fight we have in the middleweight division, we got Shahbazyan versus Muniz. And how do I feel about this one right here is I'm going low confidence Shahbazyan to beat Muniz. What am I saying? Muniz, yeah. Low confidence Shahbazyan to beat Muniz. This is a tough stylistic matchup for him, but the momentum is heavily on Shahbazyan's side. Shahbazyan has been showing improvement in the grappling department, improvement taking on defense. I still think it's weak, and when he goes in there with elite grapplers that are, peaking or not on the decline, he's probably going to get exploited in there again and again. But Right now he's fighting a declining Muniz. Shahbazyan's on the uptrend, and his takedown defense has been improving enough that will give him the chance to touch Muniz. And once Muniz gets touched, I don't think he's gonna be able to take that much damage. Like he has never shown great heart, never shown great cardio, or great durability, or great mental. And if Shahbazyan can defend a takedown or two and start to land some clean shots, put the pressure on him and land some clean shots, whether Muniz get knocked out cold or he just gets curled up to the ball, I think he gets stopped in the first round. So in this one, I have Emmett Shahbazyan via first round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's bantamweight division, we got Chiasson versus Y.Santos. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Y.Santos to beat Chiasson. And I think actually Chiasson, I don't know why I'm talking to it. Maybe I need to drink some more water, but it is what it is. I don't know why Chiasson is such a big favorite right now. I think she's like she's like a minus 250, minus 270, which again, that makes no sense. I can see if she was on riding, if she was looking like she was supposed to look now, or supposed to look this year, that year. Like when she won the Ultimate Fighter, like, oh, she's a huge this, huge that. Like she's gonna evolve and be one of the premier this, that. I can see her being a future champion, but like she's done failed time and time again, and she's coming off of yet another disappointing performance. So I don't see why she would be the favorite here, especially not a big favorite. I would see like maybe like a minus 150. Realistically, probably should be like a minus 115, but at most minus 150. But really should be the underdog herself, but maybe the odds will shift, probably won't. But yeah, I'm going Y.Santos here, low confidence, beat Chiasson. I think Santos is the cleaner striker, probably the better grappler, the more experienced, more accomplished fighter, the more mentally tough fighter. And we have seen Chiasson check out multiple time and time again in different ways. We've seen her get taken down and grappled by a 40-year-old striker. That was her first real big disappointing loss. We've seen her go in there with Pereira and was running into punches, then pulling guard instead of going for takedown. Like we just seen some really extremely low fight IQ from her. And I don't see her having no great grappling success against Santos. Santos is Santos herself is really a grappler a lot of times. Like she'll go out there, strike, then she'll look to wall install, maybe she'll mix her own takedown. So I think Y.Santos probably gonna be the stronger fighter here. Probably gonna be able to get the advantage in the grappling on the feet. She'll land the better shots, have the better combinations, and she'll also be the one that knows when to push. I feel like Chiasson, like she just mentally checks out there, like, and does the opposite of what she's supposed to do in fights. A lot of times, that's what cost her all of her losses that she has it's been her mental. And I don't feel like she's gonna click now. Like you had time and time again, I don't feel like you're gonna click now. But either way, close fight. But I would not feel like at all smart if I was like had to pick a side of a 50-50 fight, and I went when Chiasson is a favorite when she has choked time and time again in the same exact spot. And Santos, on the other hand, she's on like a 2-fight winning streak where she's been underdog in both those fights. And really, in both of the fights was like both of them were especially hindsight. I saw the tape fight. I think I had Santos as average or high. I had Santos as an average confident one against Tate. I messed up on a prior fight, but especially particularly hindsight, Santos she had no business being the underdog in either of those fights. And I'm saying the same exact pattern in this fight. She has no business being the underdog in this fight. Like Chiasson, in all of her chokes, I believe she was the favorite. And I think 2 of them, she was a large favorite. Santos, in her last 2 fights, she's been the underdog, and she did not deserve to be the underdog by no means, especially in hindsight. But the fact that Santos is more experienced, and I think she's strong, well-rounded, and she's hungry on a streak in a similar spot to her last 2 fights, and I think she'll thrive in that spot yet again. So in this one, I have Y.Santos via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, we got Josh Emmett versus Youssef Zalal. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence, Youssef Zalal to beat Josh Emmett. And I don't know how good Zalal's chin is. Emmett still got power. Emmett's still tough. He got the wrestling as well. He might be on the juice a little bit as well. So he's still alive here. But I'm going to do some different. I'm going to pick Zalal by knockout. Matter of fact, I'm going to pick Zalal by submission. Zalal has shown underrated grappling skills. So I think he'll be able to rock Emmett on the feet. Probably catch him like a stepping knee because Emmett's always leaning and ducking and throwing stuff. Then he'll be able to time a knee up the middle, catch Emmett, rock him, land the ground and pound, spin, take his back, and then rear naked choke him. And I'm going to say first round submission for Youssef Zalal. Low confidence, but a big prediction. So in this one, I got Yusuf Zalal via first round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, we got Jerry Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree Jr. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Jerry Prochazka to beat Khalil Rountree Jr. So Rountree is a very dangerous striker. He had a better performance against Jamal Hill than Prochazka did. Even though Prochazka got the stoppage, Rountree completely shut him out. Prochazka was hurt several times by Jamal Hill. It was a much more competitive fight, whereas I think Rountree just really just shut him out on the scorecard and dropped him at multiple times. He just was not able to get the stamp one. That's the only difference. But yeah, but I'm going Jerry here to beat Khalil Rountree. Rountree, amazing striker, but extremely one-dimensional. Prochazka could definitely split him in the grappling part, but I doubt he will. But the main thing I feel here is that Rountree does not deal well with pressure. And especially when Prochazka is going to be coming with such variety. And even when you crack him, all it does is make him hungry. Like with Jamal Hill likes to pick his shots, like to box a little bit. So when he started getting legs shoot up and he started to get countered, like Jamal Hill got tentative. Some of the other fighters get tentative. But Prochazka, like you hit him, unless you put him out, he's going to keep coming. And he's only going to get hungrier. He's only going to get, more intense. And Rountree definitely, many of his losses has faded to the pressure of other fighters. And Prochazka is going to bring more pressure than he ever dealt with. He's going to bring more unorthodox combinations, more weird angles, more weird setups. Like it's going to be a lot from thinking on that thinking and processing. And the guy you're hitting with the kitchen sink and he's still in your face, I think that's not going to bode well for Rountree. And I'm looking at I'm going to say third round TKO. I think it's going to be a war, but I think eventually Rountree is going to fade to Prochazka's pressure. And Prochazka's going to start to overwhelm him. The value going to start to cause Rountree to fade and collapse. And then Prochazka able to get a third round TKO. But a back and forth fight, maybe Rountree even up 2 rounds. And then Prochazka comes back with a rally and a stoppage in the third round. But either way, I see like a third round TKO, a war of a fight. Prochazka definitely get hurt. Rountree definitely get hurt. But Prochazka been able to battle through as he has time and time again and gets third round stoppage. So in this one, I have Jerry Prochazka via third round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, we got Joe Pyfer versus Abus Magomedov. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence, Joe Pyfer to beat Abus Magomedov. And yeah, it's like Joe Pyfer's better over a fighter. I feel like he's bigger, stronger, probably younger. Let's see the teletape. Yeah, 29 versus 35, so same height. Magomedov got a little bit of reach, but Pyfer's definitely more filled out than him. They're like the same height. Magomedov got a little bit more reach, but Pyfer's definitely more filled out. He definitely got a bigger punch. I feel like he's a better wrestler here, better striker here, better conditioning. Only thing he can't do is don't get too lock in. Like there's always a chance you could lose. There's always a chance there's a fight at the end of the day. And Pyfer can get a little too caught up, but I don't think it's gonna be one of those fights where he gets caught up by any means. Possibility, but I don't think this is a fight. I feel like Pyfer's able to push, crack Magomedov with some big shots, and I'm gonna say put him away second round TKO, maybe first round, but I'll say second round TKO. A guy like Magomedov who has in the past shown the tendency to fade. The second round is always a kind of a sweet spot for them to get stopped in, so I'm like a second round TKO for Joe Pyfer. Be to set his shots up, start to connect on Magomedov. Then Magomedov starts to fade a little bit, hands start to drop a little bit more, chin starts to lift up a little bit. Pyfer's gonna be able to connect with that shot on his open chin and put him out second round. So in this one, I got Joe Pyfer via second round TKO. Now to our co-main event, we have in the bantamweight division for the undisputed UFC bantamweight championship, we have reigning champion Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm still going to go low confidence. Like, Merab has been looking great time and time again, looking better time and time again. But, he's been fighting valid challengers, so I can't ever really go in there feeling so super confident in him because he's been fighting good contenders. Like, that's what makes him so big. Like, he going out there looking great time and time again. But every single fight, before you get the hindsight, but like present sight, he's going with Sean O'Malley. It's got to be his time. He got, he might have something cooped up. Stops him. He going with what's his name? Umar Nurmagomedov. He's supposed to be the future. He's supposed to be the best one in the whole bunch. He's supposed to be the best Dagestan fighter that ever existed. Like he's supposed to evolve in that. Shows up like he just keeps beating guys time and time again. And Sandhagen look like a good, interesting challenge, especially if he can address the grappling enough and mix up the strike. Like he's looking like an interesting challenge. Like he does not look like he should win, but I do see very clear possibilities where he could find ways to win here. Might catch him with a flying knee. Might catch him with submission. Who knows? He might show. Maybe this is his time. But yeah, Sandhagen streaming live. He showed great improved takedown defense against Umar Magomedov in that fight. But he did get outstruck pretty cleanly through 5 rounds in that fight. Or at least 3 of the 5 or 4 of the 5. And Marav's striking is not as polished as Umar Magomedov. But yeah, ultimately I'm going with Rob here. Low confidence to win. I think he's going to do what he always does. Like I said, it might not be the prettiest early, but his pace is relentless. And like he might not get the first takedown, might not get the second, might not get third, fourth, fifth, but he's going to get one of those takedowns. And once he starts getting those takedowns, like it's a snowball effect. It's going to just keep coming, and get you down. And Corey Sandhagen has choked a lot in these big spots. And really, what has he really done to earn this spot, really? Like, it's really because Merab has been doing so well. Like, Sandhagen is alive here, but what has he really done? Has he really beat a true #1 contender? Did you beat Petr Yan? Did you beat Umar? Like, who'd you beat? You beat, you dominated Figueiredo, but Figueiredo had already lost to Petr Yan. And you beat him better. But it's not like you were the first one to beat him at bantamweight. You weren't. And again, Petr Yan, like, did you beat Petr Yan? You're 0-1 against Petr Yan. You're 0-1 against Aljo. You're 0-1 against TJ Dillashaw. Like, in all the like real #1 contenders, all the real big spots, he's lost. And I feel like he definitely beat TJ Dillashaw, but the paper says, the track record says, like, in these big fights, he has never shown up. So it kind of seemed like, why show up now? But who knows? But I'm going with Rob decision. I think Sandhagen's tough. He's scrappy. He's well-rounded. He'll stay in the fight. He won't, take an exit. He'll battle through to the end. It'll be a close competitive fight. But Merab's pacing is always going to be king until, at least for now. For the present future, I think Merab grinds him out to a decision here. So, in this one, I have Merab Dvalishvili via decision. Now, for our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division in our main event for the undisputed UFC light heavyweight championship, we got reigning champion Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2. So they fought before. Ankalaev got the belt from him. A pretty dominant decision, I guess. It wasn't like super dominant, like he just ran over him, but you know who won after the fight. You know who was dictating the face, and who was winning the fight pretty much everywhere. Pereira was more so on the defense. He was never really able to get off any real good shots. The main shining light for Pereira was that he got the takedown, even though I think it was after the bell, or on the bell. And he stuffed all of Ankalaev's takedowns. But as far as on the striking, he really didn't get nothing off. I think he hurt Ankalaev like once throughout the whole fight, just barely. Whereas Ankalaev hurt him notably in that fight and really neutralized him the whole fight. And at that current age, I think Ankalaev's like smack dab in his prime and Pereira's pushing 40. Yeah, Ankalaev's like smack dab in his prime, maybe like towards the middle. Yeah, 33. And Pereira's pushing 40, 38. And Ankalaev's still the more well-rounded fighter. Pereira might be training this and training that, but he did get the only takedown last fight, defending all the Ankalaev's takedowns. They say, he might be the better grappler based off that stats, or those stats. But we all know that Ankalaev's the better grappler. Pereira, pure striking, definitely the better striker. But you mix it all together, this is mixed martial arts. Ankalaev can keep him honest with the grappling, and then keep him on the back foot, and do a similar thing he did last fight. And I'm going to go Ankalaev by knockout here. But at the end of the day, Pereira's a great fighter. He's a legend. Power never leaves. He's training hard for this fight. And again, he can always find that hook. All it takes is one shot, and Pereira can change your whole life. But I got to go Ankalaev here. And I think he's going to put Pereira away this time. It says like Ankalaev has a tendency to put guys away in rematches. Pereira in his last rematch, he got put away. And I'm going to say a more dominant performance from Ankalaev this time around. Now he had his recipe. Now he had his confidence. Now he's a champion. He's probably training hard. He has, more money and more this, more that to invest in his camp. More confidence, and particularly more focused confidence because he just coming off a win over beating Pereira, and again in a pretty clear fashion. So I think he'll be able to come in here with more tools and more strategies and a better analysis of Pereira and better be able to work off that analysis and be able to put Pereira away. I'm going to say second round TKO. I think first round he's going to really stall Pereira out a lot more. Pereira might come out a little bit more aggressive. If he comes out more aggressive, Ankalaev probably get takedown and just wear on him. Pereira probably pop back up to his feet a little bit. And again, Ankalaev is really just working Pereira a little bit. You know, either put him on the back foot, or if Pereira comes aggressive, you know, take him down and wearing on him. And then in the second round, like with the threat of that takedown and that pressure, probably the bait to takedown, come over the top and catch Pereira looking for a hook, put him on the chin, and then swarm him, land a combination, and TKO Pereira in the second round. So in this one, I got Magomed Ankalaev via second round TKO. And so that concludes my fight predictions for the full card of fights for UFC 320, Ankalaev versus Pereira 2. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.